Well, hey guys, today's video, pull up a seat because we're going to be going over sunscreens that are so good, yours truly finished them up in their entirety. These are my sunscreen empties. Sunscreens I finished up over the winter months. Now, as a reminder, recently I did a skincare empties video sharing with you all of the skincare products that I finished throughout the winter months, but I always like to do the sunscreen empties in a separate video because they're just in a league of their own. Before I get into this video though, I want to take a moment to thank today's video sponsor, Peak. If you're tuning in for the first time, one thing about me that you may not know is I love my drinks. I really love having tea, and Peak tea is my go-to for high quality, delicious tea. I've been drinking Peak tea, I want to say, for like 6 years now, since the beginning of my channel. And they have a ton of really fantastic high quality teas. They really do not scrimp on any detail when it comes to quality, and the flavor profiles are delicious. I especially love their signature Sun Goddess matcha tea. When it comes to healthy skin, the stuff that you choose to consume is as important as the stuff you choose to slap on your face. Matcha tea is a great beverage choice, packed with polyphenols and catechins, EGCG, which can help with inflammation as well as warding off oxidative stress. They use this unique cold crystallization method to extract these tea crystals that dissolve in a matter of moments in either hot or cold liquid. So you get a clump-free tea in a matter of moments, zero prep. They actually take the time to shade their trees longer. And what this does is it enhances the L-theanine in the matcha. L-theanine has this calming property to it. They quadruple screen their matcha for any impurities. Peak has enough confidence in the quality of their teas that they offer a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you don't love their teas within 30 days, you can get your money back. Peak also recently launched their Radiant Skin Duo. It's their best-selling Sun Goddess matcha, which I love, along with their newer BT Fountain, which is a beauty electrolyte. Peak has an amazing limited time offer going right now. You can get 15% off plus free shipping for life on the Radiant Skin Duo. And you're also going to get a complimentary starter kit, which includes their frother and their little beaker. So definitely use the link in my description box. You will not be disappointed. They are my go-to for high quality, delicious tea. The Sun Goddess matcha is one of my all-time favorites from them. Let me know in the comments if you can guess what sunscreen I used up first. Because I use it up. I go through one of these bottles pretty much every sunscreen empties. This is one of my absolute favorite tinted hybrid moisturizing sunscreens. It's the Dermatology Universal Tint. Please, Dermatology, never ever discontinue this. I love it so much. I've probably gone through, I don't know, 20 bottles of this in my lifetime already. It is a hybrid sunscreen. It has zinc and octinoxate. This has become a holy grail tinted moisturizing sunscreen for many of you. Now, it's not water resistant, so this is more of a day-to-day moisturizer with sunscreen kind of type of product. If you're going to be outdoors doing sport, swimming, water-based activities, you're gonna wanna use a water-resistant sunscreen. This is one that I always go back to. Like, I always have this in my rotation. I love it. I know what I'm gonna get with it. It's comfortable to apply. It doesn't have any fragrance. Now, it does have an odd odor. I have to warn you of that. I actually kind of find the odor a bit endearing. It's kind of, I like to describe it as a pool float. You know, that when you get a new toy, it kind of has that plasticky smell, but that odor does not linger. And again, no fragrance. Now, it does have niacinamide, which I love. Niacinamide is such a versatile ingredient in terms of what it can do, what it can offer as far as skin benefit. It has anti-redness properties. It's good for hyperpigmentation. It's good for the moisture barrier. It's an antioxidant. It's anti-inflammatory. It is good for warding off oxidative stress that contributes to premature skin aging. I mean, the list goes on and on. It has good bioavailability. Overall, it's a well-tolerated ingredient, but some people don't tolerate it. They find it burns, it stings, it causes irritation. So if that's you, then this would not be a good sunscreen for you. I love the tint on this. It's not peachy, it's not orangey, and it's very It's very complementary to my skin tone and to many others. They have a good balance. And fun fact, I actually got to visit Dermatology's operation, if you will, and see the behind the scenes action of how they make this. It was really cool. Definitely check that video out if you missed it. You can see their whole warehouse and everything. I was so impressed with the quality control and everything that they have in the behind the scenes. I really learned a lot that day. So this is a favorite. I'm not sponsored by this company or anything of that sort. And from time to time, they do actually send me this sunscreen for free in PR, but I also buy it myself a lot too. Highly recommend this one. It's got to be my favorite product from them. They actually have a lot of really good skincare products as a side note. Moving on though, in the realm of tinted sunscreens, these have been blowing my mind. I actually just repurchased a tube. It's the Neutrogena Pure Screen Mineral UV Tint. Now this is a tinted mineral sunscreen. Unlike the Dermatology one, this is water resistant. I'm holding up two tubes here because one is the shade light and the other is the shade medium, and I finished both of them. This sunscreen comes in 4 different shades: light, medium, medium deep, and deep. And for me, I was able to use the light and the medium, no problem. I prefer the medium and have since repurchased the medium. I love this. It is a zinc and titanium dioxide mineral sunscreen with a tint. Now, if I didn't already mention this, if you weren't aware, tinted sunscreens, the tint comes from iron oxides. And iron oxides in sunscreens and in cosmetics can offer some protection against blue light that mostly comes from the sun, but that blue light can contribute to early onset and more stubborn hyperpigmentation in people with deeper skin tones. I suggest if you are looking to fade hyperpigmentation, if you're choosing a sunscreen, consider going with one that's tinted so you get that benefit, or using makeup like foundations that also will have iron oxides. Now, this does not have niacinamide as a side note, so if you find that niacinamide burns and stings, you're good here. It has tocopherol, which is an antioxidant, but otherwise the formulas are pretty no nonsense, no fragrance. For me, I find one thing I've been very impressed with about these is they have very good spread on the skin, but they're not overly shiny. They just give the skin a nice, healthy, demi-matte finish. Nice base for makeup. I don't get any pilling. There's no odor with these. And if you're going to be outdoors, and especially if it's a humid day, these are great because they're water resistant. They're mineral sunscreens, so they should be easy to tolerate around the eyes. If you have very sensitive skin, I think you would get along well with these because mineral sunscreens typically are well tolerated. Water resistant 80 minutes, if I didn't already mention this. Now, the medium deep and deep shades, the medium deep for me kind of looks a little bit like I'm wearing some kind of bronzer. I can kind of get away with it, but there's a lot of contrast with my neck. However, the deep shade is like I'm doing some kind of fake tan. So the deep shade does not work for me. Check out my video reviewing these though, because I show you what all the shades look like on the skin. Now, one big gripe I have with these is the packaging. These bottles are like they leak all over the place. These are empty, obviously, because this is an empties video, but I'll just show you here. You can see, look at the mess there. All along the tip and inside the cap, really messy. And you guys have commented that too. They need to switch this to an airless pump. Speaking of airless pump, really I've been loving the new Eucerin Tinted Zinc Oxide sunscreen that I reviewed for you guys. Check out that review too. That's another new to the drugstore tinted sunscreen option that is not disappointing whatsoever. But yeah, I really love these Neutrogena Pure Screen sunscreens. And like I said, I've repurchased the medium shade. I have, people in my personal life who have started using it for my recommendation and they're really happy with it too. And I've heard from a lot of you all how much you love it as well. Speaking of tinted sunscreen, on my face right now, I'm wearing that amazing tinted chemical sunscreen from Kroger that is a super goop glow dupe, if you will. And I'm loving that too. So a lot of good options these days, you guys, for tinted sunscreens. This is one that I've had in as a favorite for many years now. It's the Hada Labo UV White Gel. I've been getting this in a jar the past couple of times, but it used to be one that I would get in a tube. And I don't know, I prefer the tube to this jar package, but the formula I love, love, love. Now, this is technically a hybrid sunscreen. It has some really good UV filters. I wrote them all down for you because honestly, I have trouble remembering. Octane Oxate, Parsol SLX, Tinosorb S, Uvinol A+. I said technically a hybrid sunscreen because it does have titanium dioxide in it as well. Now, titanium dioxide can give a bit of a white cast to the formula. In my experience using this, it's completely cast free. However, if you have a really deep skin tone, there's a chance that this may show up on your skin as I turn it around. It's not water resistant, so this is one of those day-to-day, everyday moisturizers. There's no tint to this. But the formula is it gives a nice deep hydration. It has hyaluronic acid in it, which helps to improve the moisture content of the top layers of the skin. You really get a nice, healthy, moisturized glow to the skin with this. It's not greasy, it's not shiny. I don't get any burning around my eyelids when I wear that. It's really a comfortable wear. It spreads on the skin surface really, really nicely. No niacinamide in that, so if you're sensitive to niacinamide, you're good to go there. It has magnesium ascorbyl phosphate in it. Magnesium ascorbyl phosphate is a form of vitamin C that is not very well studied. Whether or not it actually gets into the skin and converts to ascorbic acid largely remains to be determined, but at any rate, it's an antioxidant. It may help in fighting off the generation of free radicals that occurs upon exposure to environmental stressors. It's also a really great makeup base as well. I don't get any pilling with that sunscreen. Now, it does have, I believe, a low molecular weight alcohol in it, which makes it for a more fast absorbing formula. But don't be afraid of that low molecular weight alcohol. It's not the least bit drying. The formula overall is very hydrating. It's a really great sunscreen if you live somewhere that's very hot and you find that heavy sunscreens feel kind of oppressive, make you overheat. This is not like that whatsoever. It's very fast absorbing and it allows for good evaporation of sweat so that you don't feel overheated. It's, like I said, it's a favorite. Now, I do prefer it in the tube to this jar. I just find that the jar, I don't know, it's a little unwieldy to get the product, to scoop this product out of the jar. Now, this is one I really love. This is a Skin 1004 SPF 50 sunscreen. This one's not water resistant either. This is a chemical sunscreen. It has Uvinol A+, Uvinol T150, Iscatrizanol, and Tinosorb M. It also has Centella asiatica extract, which has antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, may be helpful for the skin barrier. And it also has tea leaf extract, harkening back to the beginning of the video with teas and polyphenols. Applying tea polyphenols to the skin may be beneficial not only in warding off oxidative stress that contributes to premature skin aging, but it's also been shown to be helpful for people who have oily, acne-prone, breakout-prone skin. So if you have acne-prone skin, I think this is a really good daily moisturizing sunscreen to consider. It's very lightweight, very fast-absorbing, hydrating, but not greasy. I get no cast with this. Now, this one does have niacinamide, which if you tolerate it is a great option if you have acne-prone skin because it's good for acne. Niacinamide is a good acne fighting ingredient. It's also good for the acne redness and the acne dark marks that can persist after the acne heals. The niacinamide can not only help in preventing those, but can help in clearing them up as well. This also has adenosine in it, and there's some research, albeit preliminary, to suggest that adenosine in skincare products may help with skin elasticity, and it's also anti-inflammatory. I tolerate this around my eyes really well. For the longest time, I was using the Skin 1004 Hyaluronica Serum, which is a hyaluronic acid and centella serum that's kind of like a nice lightweight lotion. So I was using that, letting it absorb and putting this on over as my sunscreen, or using that product at nighttime. They're a really nice pairing together. If you watched my skincare empties video of the non-sunscreen skincare that I finished throughout winter, I finished that serum that goes along with this. Now, one thing I want to share with you guys, you know, when you get to the end of a product, I know a lot of you already know this, but you certainly can cut off the tip here, the end here, and scoop the dregs out to get the last drop. However, once you cut it open, I don't suggest like storing it open like this and continuing to get stuff out, because I do think that once you open it like this, like I have done here, the stuff inside is going to be exposed to air and light. It can compromise the stability of the ingredients. Even if you put it in a bag or whatever, I wouldn't do any of that. I would only cut the top off and use the dregs when you are down to the last drop and it is your final usage. Because if there's still more in here and you're going in and out, I would really worry that you are subjecting the product to degradation, and it's not going to be effective for you in terms of UV protection. So I cut this off when I knew I was down to the last bit, and it's a really moisturizing formula. It does well as a makeup base as well. You don't get pilling with that if you put cosmetics on over. It's nice, like I said, if you have oily, acne prone skin, I definitely recommend that one. It's a great option. I have repurchased it and I already have a backup tube of it. It's one of my favorite Korean sunscreens for sure. Some of the most neglected territory when it comes to applying sunscreen is around the eyes, and a reason for that is that a lot of sunscreens burn and sting around the eyes. If that's the case, I suggest a mineral. People also forget to put sunscreen on their neck. They forget to put it on their ears. They forget to put it on the backs of the hands, but they also forget to put it on the lips. Lips are very vulnerable to sun damage. They don't have that robust stratum corneum, so they're also vulnerable to dryness, losing water, and they come in contact with a lot of things like food that can be irritating. Saliva is an irritant. So it's a challenge. You really need to protect your lip skin from the sun. My personal experience, when I use facial sunscreens, when I put them on my lips, I don't find that they stay on particularly well. You certainly can use them that way. I just find that they end up getting in my mouth and I have that odd taste. So I like to use a dedicated SPF lip balm, and I'm always on the lookout for good quality ones, because some of them I find can be drying. I want one that helps protect the lips not only from UV rays, but also just from dryness and whatnot. So Aquaphor is a great product in general for the lips. So I decided to give a go to their Lip Repair Stick Plus Sunscreen. I bought this on iHerb. I don't see the stick in the store much. I've seen it a few times. I think Target carries it, I want to say, but you can buy it on iHerb. And I have actually come to really like this. It's not a holy grail lip SPF, but it worked out really well for me this past winter. It's a chemical lip SPF, so because of that, you may find it's irritating. Chemical sunscreens, at least the ones in the US, on the lips, they can be irritating for some people. So be aware of that with this. For me, I actually was able to tolerate it pretty well. It has like avobenzone, octinoxate, octocrylene, and homosalate. It's broad spectrum, not water resistant. When it comes to SPF on the lips, reapply, reapply, reapply. Ignore the 2-hour thing, reapply as often as you can. You eat something, you drink something, reapply. Namely, if you're outdoors, that is. Like, you don't have to constantly be doing this when you're inside. But if you are out at the beach doing outdoor stuff, like constantly reapply, reapply, reapply. Speaking of the eye area, a lot of people find that SPF lip balms end up working out well for them around the eyelids. So you could give that a go in the eyelid area. I didn't try that with this, but it's definitely an option. I always liked doing that with the Vanity Cream used to make a SPF lip balm that was like my holy grail. It was a mineral SPF lip balm, and that ended up working out really well around the eyes too. It wasn't a stick like this. You would squeeze out the product more like a lotion, but it had really good adherence to the lips. It was very moisturizing, and it also worked out well on the eyelids. This I'm not so sure about. Now the base of this has castor seed oil in it, which is an emollient. Some people are allergic to that. It can be a culprit if you are experiencing really stubborn bouts of chapped lips. This also has shea butter, which is a good ingredient for reducing water loss from the lips. Jojoba seed oil, a nice emollient, and dimethicone, a skin protectant, really going to help protect the skin of the lips. It has tocopherol in it, which is a form of vitamin E. Some people are allergic to that, so be aware of that. That's in here if you are allergic. And it has sunflower oil, which is an emollient with antioxidants. Overall, I do really like this. The texture of it, the consistency, I wish there was some left here. I mean, there's a little bit left there that you can kind of see the dregs, if you will. It's stiff, so you have to press more firmly than I would like from a lip SPF. But you know, that'd be one of my major gripes with it, is that it's not easy to spread. I really wish Vanity Cream would come back with their mineral lip SPF. That one was a favorite of mine. Another SPF favorite is the MD Solar Science SPF lip balms. Those are really good. No fragrance either. All right, y'all, those are all the sunscreens that I finished up over the winter months. But let me know in the comments, what sunscreens are you guys loving right now? Have you tried anything new? Let me know in the comments. I hope you all enjoyed this. Don't forget to check out Peak. Thank you, Peak, for sponsoring today's video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.